Okay, dear students, welcome to this class. So already in our last class, we had been regarding about some common examples for this collides, aerosols, gels, some then emulsion, foam, solid sol, like this. And you know the examples for that. When aerosol is formed, when foam is formed, when emulsion is formed, and when gel is formed, like that. And already you learned the examples for that, different kinds of colloids in the last classes. And also, you have learned about how to find the concentration of solution by using the method mass of that solutile solution. Understand? Mass by mass, percentage of solution. So there are generally three methods are there: mass by mass, percentage of solution, and mass by volume, percentage of solution, and volume by volume, percentage of solution. But for our ninth standard, only one method is will come, that is calculation of a concentration of solution by using a mass by mass, percentage of solution. And I explained in the last class clearly how to calculate the concentration of solution by using the method mass by mass, percentage of solution. Clear or no, students? Okay. In this class, you will go to learn about how to separate the components of mixture. How to separate the components of mixture. So that is your coming concept, separating the components of a mixture. Separating the components of a mixture. Because already you have clearly learned about the mixtures. Two kinds of mixtures are there. Homogeneous mixtures are there, heterogeneous mixtures. Heterogeneous mixtures again two types are there. Colloidal solutions are there, suspensions are there. So here several methods are there. How can you separate the components of mixtures from a mixtures? Okay. See, the first coming method is the evaporation. So that is in your textbook they are given like that. How can we obtain colored component from a blue or black ink? See, how can we obtain colored component? Colored component is nothing but dye. ಬಣ್ಣ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ ಬಣ್ಣ. How can we obtain a colored component or dye from a blue ink? Blue ink. If you use the blue ink, so ink is nothing but it is a mixture of dye and water. It is a mixture of dye and water. Understand? Let's see. So that is the evaporation. We can obtain the colored component or dye from a blue ink by the method that is evaporation. ಆವಿಯಾಗುವಿಕೆ ಬಾಷ್ಪೀಭವನ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ. Okay, let's see. So this evaporation that includes a basic principle. So what is the basic principles when we use this evaporation method? When we use this evaporation method, and that follows a certain basic principles. Not only this, all separating methods of mixtures, they follows the certain basic principles. Similarly, this evaporation method also follows the principle. Let's see what is the basic principle of that evaporation method. See, basic principle of evaporation: out of two components of mixture, one can evaporate because that has a less boiling point. If a substance get evaporate, remember that has a very less boiling point, and other has a high boiling point, it do not get evaporate. Understand? So this is the basic principle of that evaporation method. Clear or no? Out of two components of mixture, one should evaporate. Understand? That means that has a less boiling point, other has a high boiling point. So here let's see how can we obtain the dye. Dye means colored component from a ink. So an example is the mixture of dye and water, that is nothing but ink. Just take a blue ink. So to make this evaporation, to separate the colored component, that means dye from ink, you have to need first one Bunsen burner, tripod stand, and beaker, water, and watch glass, which is also called petri dish or watch glass, and finally ink. Understand? So take first beaker and fill half with the water. Take a beaker first and fill water half of this beaker and take a watch glass or petri dish, put it on a mouth, put it on the mouth of this beaker and put ink, a small amount of ink, either it is a mixture of dye and water on a petri dish or watch glass. Okay. Then what you do? Start to heat this beaker. Start to heat this beaker with the help of Bunsen burner. With the help of Bunsen burner. Understand? So why should this need to heat this mixture of water and dye by putting this in a petri dish upon the mouth of this beaker? So we are heating this ink indirectly, not by directly. We need not to heat this mixture of dye and ink, that means ink, not directly. Why sir? What happened if we directly heat that ink? Understand? Remember, if you heat the mixture of dye and water or ink directly, so that results in the decomposition of dye. That result in the decomposition of dye. Understand? That means dye may get decomposed. Dye may get decomposed. Understand? So to avoid that decomposition of dye, we have to heat that mixture of ink and water, mixture of dye and water or ink by putting it in a petri dish or watch glass on the mouth of beaker containing water. That means we are indirectly heating the ink. Understand? So start to heat the beaker which contain water with the help of Bunsen burner. Then observe what exactly happens in this watch glass or petri dish. Remember, ink is a mixture of dye and water. Here two components are there, dye and water. Remember, basic principle what is? Out of two components of mixture, one can evaporate, that has a less boiling point and other has a high boiling point. Here is the mixture of water and dye, that means in the ink. Dye has a high boiling point. Dye has a high boiling point, whereas water has a less boiling point. Hence, when you started to heat the beaker, observe in a watch glass or petri dish, the water start to get evaporate. The water start to get evaporate. Do you know why? Because water has a less boiling point than the dye. Understand? So after completely evaporating the water, what remains in the dish? What remains in the dish? Dye. The dye remains in the dish. Hence, by using this evaporation method, you can easily separate dye from ink. Dye from ink. Understand? So this is the first method of separating components of a mixture. Okay. Let's come students. What is the next method? Okay, let's see students. Second main method of separating components of mixture. So that is centrifugation. That is centrifugation. So first method you have learned, that is the evaporation. So second method is the centrifugation method is there. Understand? So where it is used centrifugation method? Okay, I will say after. So let's see the first basic principle. What is the basic principle of this centrifugation method? Okay, see, separation of substances or particles, separation of substances or particles on basis of their density, on basis of their density. When mixture is rotated very fast, when mixture is rotated very fast, then the denser particles are forced at the bottom. The denser particles forced at the bottom and lighter particles stay above. Understand? Best example is there, separating cream from milk. Separating cream from milk. Understand? Very simple principle is there. So this method is based on what? Based on their basis of their density. When mixture is rotated very fast. Understand? When the mixture of the when mixture is rotated very fast, so the denser particle force at the bottom and the lighter particle settle at the above of that material. Understand? Because the particles have different densities. If the particles have different densities, if the substances have different densities in a mixture, we have to use to separate that lighter and denser particles separately. We use centrifugation method. We use centrifugation method. So this is a commonly used method in all homes. Understand? To extract butter from a buttermilk. To extract butter from buttermilk. See, ask your mother how they obtain the butter from buttermilk. They rotate that buttermilk very fastly. Understand? So the denser milk settle at the bottom and lighter that butter start to float on that buttermilk. So that is a centrifugation method. What your mother use in your homes to get a butter from buttermilk, that is a centrifugation method. Understand? So that involves this basic principle. The separation of substances or particles on the basis of their density when mixture is rotated very fast. In this method, mixture is rotated. It should be rotated very fast. Understand? When you rotate that mixture very fastly, the denser particles force at bottom and lighter particles stay above. Clear or not? So best example is the separating cream from milk. Understand? So take a milk and rotate it very fast. The heavier particle settle down at the bottom and cream. Cream is a lighter particle. It stay at above. It stay at above of that milk. Similarly, in order to obtain butter from buttermilk, you use the same. You have to use the same method. Just rotate that mixture very fastly. After rotating completely, the lighter particles stay above. That becomes a butter. Understand? Then see. So uses of this centrifugation method, where it is used, applications. Understand? It is used in a diagnostic labs for blood and urine test. Very important. So this method is mainly used in diagnostic labs, especially in a blood and urine test. So they are also use this method, centrifugation method. So in their labs they have a centrifugator. That is, a machine is there. That machine rotates the mixture very fastly. So that machine we call as a centrifugator. Using that machine they rotate the blood or urine and they separate the components of that blood and urine by using this centrifugation method. See, and it is also used in dairies and home to separate butter from cream. See, it is commonly used in our homes and it is also commonly used in where? In a dairies to separate cream, to separate butter from that cream. Understand? See, next, where it is used, sir? It is used in washing machines. It is used in washing machines, dryers to squeeze water from cloths. See, in washing machine dryers, it is used. This method is also used. See the washing machine ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ centrifugation ನಡೀತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ. Rotate ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, fast rotate ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Squeeze ಆಗಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತದು, ವಾಟರ್ ಅನ್ನ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ? ಫ್ರಮ್ ಕ್ಲಾತ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಷಿಂಗ್ ಮಷೀನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇದೆ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಿಫ್ಯೂಗೇಷನ್ ಮೆಥಡ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ರೊಟೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಡೆನ್ಸರ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಬಾಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಟಲ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ, ಲೈಟರ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ಗಳು ರಿಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ. ಓಕೆ. ದೆನ್ ಸಿ. So this centrifugation method is mainly used in diagnostic laboratories for blood and urine test, and it is also used in dairies and homes to separate butter from cream, and it is also used in washing machine dryers to squeeze out water from the cloths. Okay, so dear students, so this is the second method of, that is a centrifugation. Okay. So in this class we have learned only two methods. First one is that evaporation method, that is centrifugation method. Okay, let's learn students which is the next method. See students, the next coming method is the separating funnel method. What it is? Separating funnel method is there. See, when it is used, see the basic principle is there. Basic principle. Two immiscible liquids can easily separate by putting in a separating funnel. So this separating funnel is basically used to separate two immiscible. Immiscible means the two liquids do not mix up each other. ಎರಡು ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ಗಳು ಒಂದರೊಂದಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕರಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಇಮಿಸಿಬಲ್ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ಸ್. ಅವುಗಳನ್ನ ಇಮಿಸಿಬಲ್ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ತರ ಇಮಿಸಿಬಲ್ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಈ ಸೆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಫನಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿ ನಾವು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಸೆಪರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ವೆರಿ ಈಸಿ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್. So two immiscible liquids can easily separated by putting in a separating funnel. Here you have to need a separating funnel. So this is called a separating funnel. Understand? So best example is there immiscible liquids, oil and water. Oil and water do not mix each other. Remember, yes or no? Try it in your home. Take a water and oil, mix up each other. They do not mix up each other because both are immiscible liquids. So take a mixture of oil and water in this separating funnel. Take a mixture of oil and water in a separating funnel which has a stopcock, and take another empty beaker or container, put into below that separating funnel. Understand? So just mix that oil and water. Understand? It seems to be mixed. Understand? Put that mixture of oil and water in a separating funnel and kept it for undisturbed for some time. Kept it for some time for undisturbedly. So after see the two layer, you can see the two separate layers. You can see two separate layers in that separating funnel. Water and oil. Below water is there. Above this water, you can see the oil layer. Because both are immiscible liquids. Both do not mix each other. Understand? So when you see the oil and water layer separately in a separating funnel, then you have to start on that stopcock. So when you on the stopcock, so slowly try to make fall this water drop by drop into the container. Understand? So collect that water in this container. When water completely collected in a beaker, then stop the stopcock. Then stop this stopcock. So what remains in the separating funnel? Oil remains in the separating funnel. So by using the separating funnel in a stopcock, and you can easily separate the two immiscible liquids. You can easily separate the two immiscible liquids by using this separating funnel. Understand? So very simple method is there, students. So in this class we learn totally three methods of separating components of mixture. One is evaporation method, second one is centrifugation method, third one is separating funnel method. Okay, so in the next classes we will discuss some more separating methods for separating the components of mixture. Okay, I hope you clearly understood these three methods of separating the components of mixture. Okay, we will meet you in the next class with the next separating method. So I hope you clearly understood this. Okay, so thank you for watching this class.